Speed Weeks. Daytona. No time, no place more exciting. No driver more dominant than Earnhardt, going for a record 11 consecutive win in the 125s. A win here raises Earnhardt 500 expectations. The defending Winston Cup champion Dale Jarrett also knows success on this track. Sits on the pole for tomorrow's 500. Motivation, simple. A new streak by a new Dale. And Jeff Gordon stares into the future with memories of reliving his past. It's the Gatorade 125s. After a simply sensational NASCAR Busch Grand National 300-mile race, we're ready to look at the Gatorade 125s with the elite in the world of stock car racing, the Winston Cup competitors here at Daytona Beach, preparing for tomorrow's great American race, the 42nd annual Daytona 500. Let's go to the booth right now with Mike Joy, Ned Jarrett, and Buddy Baker.
Thanks, Ken. For the fastest drivers at the front of the field, this is a 125-mile romp. But for those at the back, it's a last gasp effort to make the Daytona 500. Ned Jarrett, it's easier to get a bill through Congress than to figure out all the different ways a driver can make the big dance. How about it?
It really is, Mike, and it's confusing sometimes. Positions 1 and 2, I should say, were determined a week ago today. Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd had the fastest qualifying speeds. They'll start on the front row. Their positions were locked in. Positions 3 through 30 are determined in the Gatorade races. The top 14 finishers will move on to the Daytona 500. And then there are 6 positions that are reserved for drivers who had good time trials that had not already made their way into the field. And then the final 7 positions are provisionals from last year's point standings, 37 through 43.
And we won't know where everyone fits until after both races are completed. Buddy Baker, what will the drivers learn from the Thursday races that'll translate to 500 miles Sunday?
I can tell you it is very important. It's the first time you really get to take your 500 car out there and see what it's like with a light fuel load, what it's like after the tires start to slide around on the racetrack, and then you get to go in after the race and make all kind of changes for the 500. It really tunes the car for the 500.
All right, we'll set the Daytona 500 field with the running of Thursday's Gatorade 125s coming up right after this.
CBS Sports presentation of the Gatorade 125s is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, it's in NASCAR. Is it in you? Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you.
If you can't stop here, stop here for genuine Midas brakes. Now just $69.95 after rebate. Guaranteed nationwide for as long as you own your car. Next stop, go Midas.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
They're not coming out. We're going in to get them. You're always hot. You're always sweating. It's a cat and mouse game.
We have some of the hottest detectives on the street to switch antiperspirant.
Degree Ultra Dry.
Body heat activated.
Does this work?
When your body heat rises, Degree's powerful Ultra Dry form releases extra protection when you need it most.
When the pressure is on, the heat is on, Degree kept up with me. It kept me dry. Degree kicks butt.
Degree Ultra Dry.
That stuff kicks in and takes care of business.
Your body heat turns it on.
Book 'em.
3 motorcycles passed here. 3 men, 2 women, all carrying Visa cards. How do you know that, Grandfather? Because Central Oz Motorcycle Adventures doesn't take
American Express.
Central Oz will take you to a place beyond your imagination, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The Gatorade Company is pleased and honored
to support NASCAR racing through our sponsorship of the Gatorade 125s. For more than a quarter century, Gatorade has helped fuel NASCAR drivers at all levels of racing, and we are tremendously proud of our involvement in this exciting sport at a time of unmatched growth and popularity. Enjoy the races.
At the World Center of Speed, Daytona International Speedway, it's a beautiful, sun-drenched, summertime kind of day to set the field for the Daytona 500. The temperature this afternoon should hit 82 degrees. Humidity is moderate. There's just a hint of a breeze. 102 degrees on the asphalt and about 125 degrees in those race cars. Here's the starting lineup for the first Gatorade 125. Dale Jarrett, the 500 pole sitter, won this race in '97. Bill Elliott has won the qualifying race 3 times. In row 2, Mark Martin in his 17th try to win the 500, and Rusty Wallace, twice a runner-up in these qualifying races. IndyCar driver Scott Pruitt makes his Winston Cup debut today. In row 3, next to Ken Schrader, a 2-time winner of this race. From the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series comes Stacy Compton, a Winston Cup rookie, next to last year's Rookie of the Year, Tony Stewart. In the 1990s, Dale Earnhardt won this race every year. He goes for his 11th straight today, next to Johnny Benson trying for his 4th 500 start. Wally Dallenbach hoping to make the big show for the 7th time, and Jeff Gordon, who won this race as a rookie in 1993. Also from the Truck Series, Mike Bliss, the open-wheeler driving for the great A.J. Foyt, and Bobby Labonte, who won his qualifying race 1 year ago. Then it's Sterling Marlin, twice a winner in this 50-lap dash, and Robbie Gordon looking for his 3rd 500 start and his first since '97. Jeremy Mayfield, a runner-up in this last year, and Darrell Waltrip, a 5-time winner. Terry Labonte holds the race record at 189.5 miles an hour. Jeff Bodine won one of these in 1990. Kenny Wallace looking for his 5th 500 start, and former modified champion Jeff Fuller, a rookie. Chad Little here for the 9th year, and Brett Bodine, all of the last 12 years he's made the 500. Rookie Bobby Gerhardt from the ARCA Series, and Kyle Petty in his 19th try. Carl Long, a rookie driver, and Jim Sauter looking to start his 8th Daytona 500.
Manufacturer's breakdown today. In today's first race, there's 13 Fords, 8 Chevrolets, and 7 Pontiacs.
There are 28 cars in the race. Length of the race is 50 laps. That's 125 miles, and they're racing for a purse of $500,000. The record was set by Terry Labonte back in 1989 at over 189 miles an hour.
56 cars will compete today, split into 2 125-mile races. 43 will make the 500. The rest go home.
Looking at the track here at Daytona, it's 2.5 miles around. It's a tri-oval. The banking in the corner is 31 degrees, 18 degrees in the tri-oval on the front stretch.
From this race, the pole sitter Dale Jarrett and 14 others will make the show. Right now running in that 15th spot, Sterling Marlin in the number 40 Chevrolet. On the bubble, he is the last car in position to make it through this race. Other drivers would make it from time or from owner's provisional standings. Now there's Jeff Fuller in the number 27 Pontiac. Because he wrecked a car in practice when Greg Sachs cut down a tire and slid into him, Fuller in a backup car will have to start in the back. We'll be riding from the pole with Dale Jarrett, the defending Winston Cup champion, in the number 88 Ford. There's the pace car out ahead. And Jeff Gordon, who will start 12th today in his Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet number 24. And our Circuit City camera rides with Bobby Labonte. His Joe Gibbs Racing Pontiac starts 14th. Here we go to set the field for the Daytona 500. 50 laps, 125 miles, green flag.
Takes these cars a little while to get up speed with the restrictions NASCAR imposes on the cars at the speedways. They want to restrict the blade on the carburetor, which reduces the horsepower.
Ed, you can see the first 4 broke away a little bit as they double file back behind them there. They're running nose to tail. They'll close right up. This lead won't last very long. As a matter of fact, they caught them as they head into turn 3.
Bill Elliott goes to the front. Dale Jarrett working for second down on the bottom next to Mark Martin. for third. Kenny Schrader's yellow Pontiac battled side by side for fourth.
And we were talking about them building the speed up. Now, they do have the speed up now because they are drafted very tight. As you see Mark Martin on the outside there in the number 6 car. Tony Stewart in the 20. That orange car on the outside has been very quick in practice all week long.
And here's a crew coming up on the inside. Is that Dale Earnhardt? There's the tied car of Scott Pruitt, who's one of the rookies this year.
A little hard to notice Earnhardt, not because he's number 3, still is, but that car's red for Speed Weeks here in Daytona. Don't have any trouble finding him when he gets to the front. 10 straight wins in this race.
And Kenny Schrader there in the yellow car. That's a new ride. You're familiar. Last year he drove the number 33 car. This year he's moved to the number 36 car. That's him right there.
Looks like that outside lane was the place to be, to line up in the front draft. 5 cars are trying to break away.
Mike, when you're caught double foul like this right now, you may have a fast car, but there's nowhere to go. You have to wait until they start to sort out a little bit, and then all of a sudden you can make a move.
Ride with Bobby Labonte behind Scott Pruitt.
As they head into turn 3 here, you can hear they never lift off the throttle as they head down in the corner. It's a wide open affair here at Daytona.
Oh, he had to lift right there because Pruitt got a little loose. You heard Labonte come out of the throttle.
Just momentarily had to get out of to keep from hitting Pruitt.
Now they're 3 wide back here. That looks like Sterling Marlin down there. He made it 3 wide just for a second on straightaway, the number 40 car.
Right now on the bubble, Jeffrey Bodine, who's come from 20th up to that 15th position. Tight traffic, but Ned, that outside lane has been the place to get because that's where they're getting single file and getting away.
It has been the preferred line here in the early going. Normally the inside is the best place to be, and those that are running out front in that single car draft are running down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Ford telemetry with Kenny Schrader's yellow number 36, that M&M's car.
You notice the RPMs on the bottom part of that graphic right there. You don't see the 8,000 to 9,000 RPMs that you normally hear about. The reason for that, they run a restrictor plate here to cut down on the amount of fuel and air that goes through the engine itself to make the power. So you'll see lower RPMs because that's the maximum horsepower you can get out of a restrictor plate car.
An orange sticker on the back of Schrader's car said, "Keep back, new driver."
Yeah, they won't pay any attention to that today. These people are fighting to get in the greatest race of all time for Western Cup racing.
Upper left of your screen, you see that green under the position for Terry Labonte. It means he's moved up a spot in the last lap. The red indicates Mike Bliss and Sterling Marlin have each lost a position since the last time by.
Well, Bill Elliott has to just feel like the world has turned. He's got his race car running very well. He qualified great here, third fastest, and just all week long he's been on an emotional high here, and it's good to see Bill Elliott back at the top where he belongs.
There was a time when he ruled racing here at the Daytona International Speedway, but he had been down for a little while, but he's back now to the pits and Dick Burton.
Ned, Bill is a 3-time winner of these 125-mile races, and you're absolutely right. This is an invigorated Bill Elliott, and why not? This is a brand new race car. They brought other cars to Talladega, tested them. They were slower than anybody out there. So they came back home, cut everything up, started all over again with this car they call Mac Daddy. They've hired a new engine man, Tony Cola, who is widely viewed in the garage as one of the smartest engine men of all. And he and Ernie Ellen have put one wickedly powerful engine under the hood of Elliott's car. There are a lot of people who have worked very hard for this lead. That whole crew has worked 3 weeks in a row, 100 hours a week. Mike?
That is Elliott just out the windshield view of Dale Jarrett, the second place car. The Gatorade 125s on CBS continue after this.
Chuck, it's Rennie. I'm stuck. Call me back.
Rennie, we're doing shadow puppets. Call me.
Chuck!
Rennie.
Call me back.
You just left me a message. I'm not going to touch my phone. Call me.
Tired of phone tag? Nextel's the only national wireless carrier with Direct Connect, a digital two-way radio feature. So, instead of reaching Chuck's voicemail, you can actually reach Chuck. Nextel, how business gets done.
You missed a spot.
Presenting The Day at the Gordons, where racing champion Jeff Gordon and his wife Brooke eat new Fritos chili and scoops. A hearty cup of chili and loads of Fritos corn chips. It's fast, it's filling, it's Fritos. Perfect for people on the go. New Fritos chili and scoops and Sloppy Joe and scoops. Nothing goes faster.
You think you're harder on your engine than most people? Well, good. Because there's a new motor oil made to take it. Introducing new Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane. Penzane was developed for the space program and is used by NASA. Don't change your driving, just change your oil. Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
Save in every department today at Circuit City. Right now, all TVs 27 inches and larger, VCRs and camcorders are on sale. All DVD players, home and car audio, and more are on sale too. And you'll pay no interest for 6 months on all TVs, camcorders, DVD players, home and car audio, and more. $2.99 and up. Save on the best top brands in every department today at Circuit City.
Welcome back to Speed Week in Daytona. Mike Joy alongside Buddy Baker and Ned Jarrett. Flying high above Daytona, providing aerial pictures of the Gatorade 125s is the Bud 1 airship. Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Earnhardt and Schrader are giving each other fits. Neither one can clear the other. Now Earnhardt pulls up the line.
That's what they needed to do, is to get in single file if they have any chance of pulling up on that group of 6 cars in front of them, because they opened that gap even further on the last lap.
The 5-car breakaway, left side of your screen. Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, Johnny Benson. It's now a 6-car breakaway. Johnny Benson got clear of this group.
But now that Earnhardt and Schrader have singled out and Jeff Gordon back there, I believe they're picking up a little bit, just in a half a lap, beginning to pick up on that front line.
Well, they should be able to, because that front group is actually breaking the air apart and creating a turbulence behind them that these guys just behind them will be able to utilize the draft as they're trying to catch them. So they should run quite a bit faster than the guys up front right now close in on them.
Look who got caught way in the back waiting for yesterday's train. Bobby Labonte, that green car, as Earnhardt and Schrader broke away with Jeff Gordon. Bobby Labonte was left to scrap back there in what is now the 3rd pack of cars.
But now he gets down in single file, Mike, so that's going to help him catch back up to Earnhardt and Schrader and Gordon.
Well, one thing about Dale Earnhardt, you can bet that he's got both feet flat on the floor right now, and they are catching this front group. They've closed in about 10 car lengths on the last lap. You just behind them, Earnhardt in this front. They're actually running about a mile an hour faster right now than the lead car.
4 Fords and 2 Pontiacs lead this train. Let's go back to the bubble position. Jeremy Mayfield, number 12, right there, is in that 15th position.
And they are doing a lot of scrambling and passing for positions. A lap ago, Sterling Marlin was in 13th place. Now he's down to 16th place. They are going at it back and forth.
Mayfield, who finished 2nd in this race last year, is now struggling to gain a perch for the Daytona 500. Jeffrey Bodine just ahead of him, 14th and 15th spot. Now Mayfield, if he doesn't race his way into one of the top 15 row positions, is secured a spot in the 500, either through his time trial speed or his car owner provisional points. He'll be in the race Sunday. But the better you finish in this 125-mile qualifier, the further to the front you start in the 500.
Ed, you can see groups of cars now, some that are not handling well. Some of them are having to go high on the bank right now, and it's because the cars are beginning to lose grip in the front tires, and they're starting to run higher and higher. That front bunch looks like they're holding their own now.
You know, in race competition here, they have not run more than about 15 laps at one time. In competition, they've done it more in practice, as we see Kyle Petty there trying to make a move.
He's racing in 20th place. Ned started 26th as he pulls up on Darrell Waltrip, a 5-time winner of the 125-miler. And a couple of cars in this one just got together. Now, number 13, Robbie Gordon, not his first skirmish of the week, as Scott Pruitt gets up there with Terry Labonte. Gordon got into a shove on the backstretch with Tony Stewart yesterday that led to shoving in the garage area. Let's show you moments ago what happened in that pack.
Okay, Jeff Gordon's in the silver car right there. As he comes off the corner, Scott Pruitt's just under him there, but just behind him back there, you can see that Scott Pruitt in the Tide car got into Labonte just a little bit as they headed off the corner there.
Terry Labonte is also assured a spot in the 500. Scott Pruitt's got to race his way in.
Terry Labonte would have several options,
yes,
really, or opportunities, I should say. They're not always options, but he being a former champion, that would be one of the opportunities that could get him in here. And, of course, finishing high in the points last year, like the 11th or 12th or something already.
Something like it happened to Bobby Labonte just a second ago. He was right up there in that front group, and he just started getting slower and slower coming off the corner. Several cars have passed him in the last couple of laps. Number 18 car.
He's been a surprise. I thought that he would be the hard feed here during the speed weeks at Daytona. In qualifying, he didn't show it. I thought maybe a lot of people thought that he was holding back, maybe sandbagging a little bit, but now is the time to go to show whatever you have. And as you say, he's not getting the job done. He's hanging in there, but not the way we expected him to.
Right now, he's got clean air in front of him and not much help right behind his older brother Terry, former Winston Cup champ, right behind him as they try to gain on the front two packs.
You know, it looks like he might have just backed up to his brother there to give him a little toe up through there, because the two of them do work very well together. The 18, the green car there, and the 5 of Terry Labonte, they work very well together, and they will help each other.
You're looking back from Bobby Labonte's car at older brother Terry and Scott Pruitt and Robbie Gordon, the two former IndyCar stars that have moved over to NASCAR this season, behind that yellow Chevrolet of Terry Labonte.
Well, it looks like Terry Labonte is 100 yards or so behind Bobby Labonte, but that's not the case. He's about 2 car lengths behind. And Buddy, since we mentioned a moment ago that second pack was gaining on the front pack, they haven't picked up a lot, but now they maybe appear to be coming back a little bit.
And the one thing I've noticed is they've changed the line around the racetrack. The preferred line has been all week long, right around the bottom part of the racetrack. This group is running much higher in the corner, trying to get the maximum air they can get off that front group.
CBS Sports coverage of the Gatorade 125s will continue after these messages and a word from your local station.
Chuck Norris, 2 martial arts masters, compare battle scars.
Shanghai Triad, 1996.
Dallas Game, 1997.
Richie Dandy Cups, 1998.
Paper cut, yesterday.
Whoa, you win.
Chuck Norris and Sammo Hung, together for the first time. A 2-hour special presentation, CBS tonight.
Yeah, it really hurt.
Catch Grammys 2000 live, CBS Wednesday.
What will we watch?
Don't miss it.
A line of automobiles with performance so precise, it's virtually unexplainable.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car.
92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Watch Hollywood Squares weeknights at 6:30 on CBS 42.
Coming up next, live third-round coverage of the Nissan Open from the Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades, California. Bill Elliott has sprinted away from the field, taking Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace with him. Look at the gap that's opened up to the 4th place car of Mark Martin. Buddy, what's happened to Martin and the rest of these challengers that they've fallen so far back?
It's very simple. They were racing side by side, and they've been having a battle all the time. And that front group up there, they have not abused their tires because they have been nose to tail since the green flag.
I don't think Mark's car is handling it exactly the way that he wants to, and was not able to stay in that draft. He did for a long, long time, but once we got to that halfway point, those tires just keep getting hotter and hotter, so that handling comes into play.
And the other thing, if you'll notice just there, you see Mark Martin in 6th car right here. He's doing everything he can, but he's not getting a lot of help because nobody's handling real good. You see how high he's running on the racetrack? And behind him, they're just sorting around, trying to make the cars work, where these guys are following each other. Everybody's taking a different line through the racetrack because of the handling problems they're having.
And I think you've hit it, Buddy, right there. These 3 cars in the front, Elliott, Jarrett, and Rusty Wallace, have been able to run right around the bottom of the racetrack. The rest of the cars seem to be climbing the hill. Dick Berggren?
Well, Mark Martin's problem seems to be that he has developed a push in that race car. Behind him, the 20 Tony Stewart says he is just working as hard as he possibly can, but the car is all over the racetrack. That's the problem. These guys just can't keep up with the front 3. They are too strong. Mike?
Here's a look at Mark Martin. Never won this race, never won the 500. 4th place right now. Working around the damaged car of Brett Bodine, down on horsepower. Number 11.
Well, you see this bunch coming there. I was just watching Earnhardt. He crossed up in the center part of the corner just a second ago. He run up on that lap car there, and he had to find somewhere to go. And luckily, he had some friends up there that let him back in line.
Remember, the man in black is driving the red car this Daytona. A brand new 2000 model Monte Carlo.
There's somebody pulling. You think the pit guys just sit there and just don't do anything? You see he had both fingers crossed here pulling for his driver.
There's Earnhardt with Jeff Gordon. There's the gap back to that 2nd pack. Behind them, Schrader and Bobby Labonte gets a little bit of drafting help down on the bottom of the racetrack. They go too wide again.
And therein lies the problem. They're not able to stay together. Everybody's trying to find somewhere on the racetrack their car will handle right. You see there's a little bit of contact between Bobby Labonte and Schrader there. They just touched enough to say, I'm still down here.
Laps to go. Jeremy Mayfield still the bubble car. Number 12. Here's Mayfield, right side of the screen, trying to race his way into the 500. Now Chad Little is 1.3 seconds behind Mayfield.
Well, that's a pretty good cushion that Mayfield has at the moment. Of course, he likes that. And Chad Little, unfortunately, is out of the draft.
Let's check with Raleigh.
Car of Johnny Benson has gotten really, really tight. That is the word over the radio for Johnny. He's one of the best chassis men in the business when it comes to driver knowledge of chassis. So if Johnny tells you it's really, really tight, it must be pretty bad.
Ralph, you're exactly right. It is so aggravating to turn the car left to get in the corner, and it tries to go to the outside wall. Although you have it turned left, it loses so much grip that it works its way up the racetrack towards the outside wall.
Bobby Labonte there with Schrader and Scott Pruitt. That is from 8th on back. Here they are in the middle of that long second draft.
This front group, they're running nose to tail, and they're not having any problems. When they come up, of course, Flagman's working for them. Couldn't be in a better place than those first 3 right now because there's no racing going on between them.
Well, Dale Jarrett's doing a little bit of play, buddy. The last 2 times, he's either pushing up, coming off the turn 4 and slowing down, or either backing off to try to get a run and see where if he might be able to make a pass on Bill Elliott. He dropped back pretty good the last time. He dropped back this time, and he lost some that time when he dropped back, so Bill was able to pull away a little bit. So I think that he might be playing with him. I mentioned a moment ago that Rusty was having problems hanging on, but he seems to be pretty comfortable there now.
And he caught the leader back. There's Earnhardt going down into turn 3, working very, very hard.
Bill Stevens.
Mike, I'm with Kevin Hamlin, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt. You started 9th, picked up a few spots, but you say that the car still isn't working perfectly.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt's driving the wheels off this Jim Goodwin Service Plus Big Red Task car right now, but this new spring and shock package has got our handle and package just a little bit messed up, and we're still kind of working with that, trying to figure out what we got to have for this new car, new spring and shock deal.
Can he move up anymore?
Well, if he could get some help from behind, and he possibly could get another spot or two, but it'll be tough to catch those other cars way up in the front.
Mike, time is running out on that 11th straight victory here in the Twins.
Thanks, Bill. Those are the two Chevrolets, Earnhardt and Gordon. Look how high they are up in the corners, though, compared to the three lead Fords glued right down to the bottom of the racetrack in the turns. Bill Elliott trying to put paid to that streak. Asked his crew chief Kevin Cram yesterday, how good of a car do you have here at Daytona? He thought about a millisecond and said, real good. We'll have more of the Gatorade 125s after this word.
Now's the time to break out with the perfect way to get away in a brand new Ford. Break out with the 2000 Ford Explorer and get 3.9% financing or $1,000 cash back. Explorer was built for any kind of adventure. So get up, get out, get moving. Get to your local Ford store today, your Ford outfitter.
The dog is supposed to cry. So let's do one more. Are you finished?
Rex, you're supposed to cry. Think back to your worst day. That's your motivation. Motivation. Thank you. Rex, about your next movie. Call me.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you.
40 of 50 laps complete. We are caution-free. Dale Jarrett started on pole. Bill Elliott snatched the lead and has held it all the way so far. 10 straight years Earnhardt has won this race. Right now, there are 8 cars in front of him trying to deny him that 11th consecutive 125-mile victory. A group of 3, a gap of a little more than 3 seconds, a group of 3, a pair of 2, and again Scott Brewer's car runs loose. They're almost right out to the turn 4 wall, and then that snarling pack of 7.
I got to tell you something. We're overlooking a guy that is making a huge run up through the pack, and that is none other than Jeff Gordon. He was running with Earnhardt there just a second ago. He just shook him away and went right up to the next group, and he's going through them now.
He has found a group that his Chevrolet will work a lot better. You're right, buddy. He's made a good move.
Here are your leaders. Let's drop back to 10th spot and watch our ranchhead.com telemetry. On board number 13, Robbie Gordon, as he battles Jeremy Mayfield. 12th place there. And Chad Little right on the bottom of the racetrack. And to the pits comes Carl Long, trying to make his first Daytona 500 and having to make a tire change with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, that's not good. I'd say his chances are about like mine making the race right now. He's got to do what he has to do to try. You never know what will happen in the race.
headed back in the pack. They is going to go at it since the green flag dropped.
Oh, Gordon just squeezes in there.
That's Robbie Gordon, folks, in the 13 there in the middle of the bunch there. He just moved up and made a hole there. Johnny Benson had one choice, back off or crash.
Johnny's a good, smart race driver, so he made the obvious choice, and that was to back off.
This is Robbie Gordon's second run at Winston Cup racing. It's said that he walks to the beat of his own drum, and it looks like he runs to his own lane, wherever that may be as well sometimes here. A very, very aggressive driver.
That's Jeff Gordon. He's already moved up to 6th spot now. He's right behind the lead group. This lead bunch right now, though, have it pretty much their way. If they keep running this way until about 2 or 3 laps to go, I don't think anybody has a chance of catching our front bunch. But back in there, that's a war.
Earnhardt, you saw in 9th, and let's go back to the bubble. Right now, Chad Little, number 97, driving for Jack Roush in a Ford, is in 15th position. So that would put him in the 15th row of the Daytona 500.
And he's in good position, Mike. The 16th place car is perhaps 3 seconds behind him now. Wally Dallenbach has lost that draft, and I don't think has any chance of catching up.
Chase Elliott looking on as his dad tries to run to victory here in the Gatorade 125.
Well, there'll be 5 laps to go when they return this time. And we'll see if DJ has anything left for Bill Elliott. I think it's going to be difficult for him to pass him, even if he has something left, because he doesn't have much help from Rusty. Rusty now does seem to be struggling just to keep up. He's back about 4 or 5 car lengths, so that doesn't help DJ.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a couple of laps before I agree with you on that, because I watched that 2 car close up right now and running back down the straightaway. He may be cooling his tires right now, waiting for that last run.
Could be. And he could be sizing the situation up. He dropped back a little bit further that last lap, as you say. He's pulled right back up there again, so who knows?
Bill Elliott won this race in 1985 and 86 for Harry Mellon. And in 1992 for Junior Johnson. Looking for his 4th victory, which would put him in the 2nd row for the Daytona 500.
Well, it's been a long time since Bill Elliott. I've said it one time before, but he has really got a great car.
The camera on the Bud Blimp shows it best. Look at the gap from these first 3 cars back to the pack.
First group is right there, and right back here is your other group. So I'm telling you, they got a long ways to go to make any kind of race out of this. But this is going to turn into a war with about 2 to 3 laps to go. As we go forward now, it won't be long before we'll find out who has the muscle.
One thing, though, buddy, they have to keep their eye on the big prize. If you damage one of these cars beyond repair, you'd have to start at the tail end of the Daytona 500.
Yeah, that's why you would have probably made a better driver than me if you'd have took it up, because I always tried to win every race I went into. Didn't get it done, but I tried.
You saw Chad Little, that green 97, in 15th place. There is the 16th place car, way back of Chad Little. That's Wally Dallenbach. His speed may get him into the Daytona 500, but his position on the racetrack in this one will not. 3 laps to go.
This is about the time you start looking in the mirror and you say, okay, I'm fast on the bottom. Do I give that bottom up? Maybe act like I can run high and maybe take a chance. Right now, Dale Jarrett is trying things that you don't even know he's trying. He's trying far down the straightaways. He's trying high and low, and he's looking him over right now.
He really gets a good run coming off of turn 2. That might be the key. That would be the place that he needs to get the run and try to get up beside him going into turn 3. But Rusty Wallace is right back there with him, too. I think DJ's backing off a little bit again, coming off of that turn, hoping that Rusty can help to push him up there and build some momentum.
Now, last Sunday in the Bud Shootout, leader Sterling Marlowe was a sitting duck when the cars behind him decided to go. Is Bill Elliott the fleet of the fleet, or is he a sitting duck in this situation?
Well, I don't know, because he has lap traffic in front of him up there. That could change the complexion of everything. If he gets a good draft off the cars they're running up on, you never know what might happen.
And look at this gap. It's become 3, 4 car lengths. Is Jarrett too far back to make a move?
No. I can tell you that.
I think that
Bill's beginning to worry about it. He's going back and forth down the back straightaway there, trying to break the draft, trying to keep those cars from using that air coming off that lead car. So he'll be doing a lot of that. but he's got an awful fast car sitting just behind him there.
You're right, Buddy. They're coming up on those lap cars. Whether they'll come into play or not, the white flag is out.
1 lap to go.
We don't have to guess very much longer. I'll guarantee you when they hit the back straightaway, you'll know strategy.
One of these 3 Fords can win this Gatorade 125. Rusty Wallace has never won one. He's in 3rd place.
I don't
see him catching him right now. Bill starts to move around. He comes down the racetrack. Now he'll go back out against the wall, and all you can do is follow him when he does that, because he's not putting a straight line of air down that back straightaway.
Now, last lap, Jarrett caught him in turn 4 and might have had a chance to make a run. Can he do it this time?
I don't think so. I think that front position is the place to be, and Bill Elliott's going to win it.
Checkered flag is up for the 4th time. Bill Elliott wins the Gatorade 125 at Daytona. Jarrett is 2nd, Wallace is 3rd. Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Scott Pruitt, along with Robbie Gordon, race their way into the field. And Dale Earnhardt, trying for his 11th straight 125-mile victory, finishes 11th. The race went caution-free, and Elliott's winning speed, 188.758 miles per hour, is the 2nd fastest 125 in history. We'll talk to Bill Elliott after this.
The hells we have lived through and live through still have sharpened our senses and toughened our will. The night has been long. This morning, I looked through your anguish right down to your soul. I know that together we can be made whole, and still we rise.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing, that car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Buy a case of Haviland Formula 3 and get this collectible die-cast car for $4.99. Hurry, they're going fast.
To the mountains of Busch Beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Shift into gear with in-depth NASCAR coverage, including driver profiles presented by Fritos. Just click on racing at cbs.sportsline.com. For AOL users, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. 4 Fords finish in the top 5. Elliott, Jarrett, Wallace, Stewart's Pontiac, and Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Scott Pruitt have all raced their way into the Daytona 500, along with Robbie Gordon, Mayfield, Earnhardt 11th, and Schrader, Terry Labonte, Benson, and Chad Little. Now, from Dallenbach on back, these drivers will have to depend on their time trial speed, or their car owner's points from last year, or status as a past Winston Cup champion. But we won't know who makes the big dance until after race 2. Bill Elliott rolls into Daytona's victory lane and to Ken Squire.
Well, 3 times in the 80s, he won from the front row in these 125 milers, and he's done it again today. Hey, it looks like the old Bill Elliott.
I'll tell you what, it feels great. I mean, this McDonald's crew, they worked all winter long trying to get this Taurus up front. And I got my hats off to these guys. I mean, they have worked all winter long putting their act together, and this is what it shows. This is what it's all about.
Are you ready to win your 3rd 500?
Well, we hope so. We're going to give it our best shot, guys.
Congratulations, Bill. Now let's go to Dick Berggren.
Good run, DJ, but were you holding anything back?
No. We came here to win everything and came up a little short right there. Bill had a good car. He beat me off the go. Good job, Ed.
That was Rusty Wallace that just congratulated Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, and it was a good, safe race, and got 25 or 50 laps under our belt here to know what we need to do. And Bill Ellis got a great race car, and just couldn't mount anything. You know, you can't make a pass just by yourself. It doesn't matter how good a car you have. And you know, Rusty's car I think was running a little warm, and he couldn't get up there and push me like I needed.
Good run.
We'll be right back with the second Gatorade 125 at Daytona after this word.
Feeling a little cooped up lately? Then break out of your rut and get behind the wheel of a new Ford. Break out! Grab hold of a new Ford Focus with low 4.9% financing. When you, your friends, and your Focus get together, anything can happen. So what are you waiting for? Get to your local Ford store today.
You drive the way you drive. That's just the way it is. And that's fine. Because there's a new motor oil made to take it. Introducing new Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane. Penzane was developed for the space program and is used by NASA. Don't change your driving. Just change your oil. Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway as we set the field for the Daytona 500. Here's the starting lineup for the second Gatorade 125. Ricky Rudd makes his 24th start. He's never won one of these qualifiers, while Mike Skinner was runner-up in this race in '97. In row 2, Ward Burton making his 6th 500, and John Andretti third in this race in '96. Sprint car veteran and Busch Series graduate Dave Blaney looking to start his first 500. Robert Presley has 3 top 10s in this race. Jeff Burton is going for his 7th 500. He was third in the qualifier last year, while Kenny Irwin, third-year driver, he's got a new ride this year. In row 5, Joe Nemechek tries to make his 6th 500. Rick Mast finished 4th in this race in '91. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Busch Series champion, but a Daytona 500 rookie, while Michael Waltrip was 2nd in this race 2 years ago. Steve Park hopes to qualify for his 3rd 500. Rookie Matt Kenseth, runner-up in last year's Busch Series. Jimmy Spencer has 3 top 5s in this race, and Jerry Nadeau embarks on his first race for Hendrick Motorsports. Bobby Hamilton has 3 top 10s in this qualifier, and the only Daytona 500 winner in this race, Derek Cope. Ed Barrier, one of 8 rookie candidates this year, driving for Junie Dunleavy, and Kevin LePage, who's qualified in his 2 previous appearances. Ricky Craven trying to make his 6th 500. Dave Marcus holds the record, 32 straight Daytona 500s. Elliott Sadler embarks on the Wood Brothers 50th anniversary season, and Greg Sachs twice a 4th place finisher. Stanton Barrett, a Daytona 500 rookie, and Andy Hillenberg, who was 8th in this race 2 years ago. Daytona Beach native Dan Pardis hopes to qualify for his first 500, as does ARCA veteran Norm Benning.
In today's race, second 125, there'll be 15 Chevrolets, 10 Fords, and 3 Pontiacs.
28 cars starting this race. They'll go for 50 laps, 125 miles. The purse, $500,000.
We're going to ride along with both sides of the front row. There's Ricky Rudd in his Robert Yates Racing Ford. Pontiac safety car just ahead. And Mike Skinner in the Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet. Starting from the outside pole, and our Nation's Rent Cam is on board Michael Waltrip. In the number 7 Chevrolet, he will start outside the 6th row. Half the field is set for the Daytona 500, and the outside of rows 2 through 15 will be decided from the first 14 finishing positions here, plus the position of Ricky Rudd. And right now, Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer, in that Travis Carter number 26 Ford, is on the bubble. He is the final car that would transfer to the Daytona 500 from the racing positions they are in right now as we get set to go to green. Dick Bergeron.
Conversation between the drivers on the inside of the front of this field. They have a deal cut. Ricky Rudd's going to throw his hand up just at the point in time where he's going to bury the gas pedal. That tells Ward Burton, come with me. Burton's going to throw his hand up in the air. That'll tell his teammate right behind him, let's all hook up. Should be a 3-way fight to move to the front. Mike?
Burton's teammate, number 93, rookie Dave Blaney. Well, in race 1, the outside lane was the place to be in the start. Here in race 2, watch for those front 3 cars on the inside row to link up. pace car is in. We're set to finish setting the field for the Daytona 500. The second Gatorade 125 is underway.
I tell you, Ward Burton did his part because he stayed right on the back bumper of Ricky Rudd on the start of the race.
And here's Rudd clearing Mike Skinner, the outside pole sitter. Skinner drops in.
Oh, he's got a crud.
Yeah, he got in there. Now they're nose to tail. Rudd's leading, and just behind him you see Mike Skinner in the 31 car closing in.
So now Burton's Pontiac, number 22, yellow and black, locked on the back of that blue and yellow Chevy of Skinner.
John Andretti in that blue car there, side by side with Ward Burton as they head off down on turn 4.
Took minutes to prepare and about 800 feet to come undone.
Yeah, there's no plans. I tell you, you hear all about this, we'll do this and we'll do that. Now they'll just love to catch him again. But I tell you one thing I am noticing right now, the 28 car Ricky Rudd is proving that he is one of the strongest cars here in Daytona.
Side by side, 3 wide in the back.
Will really fan out as they came off of turn 2 and headed down the back stretch, trying to gain some momentum. But they get down, all except one little group, all get down to at least 2 wide.
Look at John Andretti come around the outside of Mike Skinner. Power move.
Yeah, and Robert Presley in the 77 car just behind him there. They got a draft going, and John Andretti showed a lot of power on the high side. And if you remember, when Richard Petty used to drive at 43, that was his groove, right up against the wall.
Here's the fellow in trouble right there. Dave Blaney, 93, stuck in the middle. And they're going to sweep around both sides of it.
That's not a good place to be. You don't have a drafting partner in there, and you got the car on the deep side of it. You can't afford to make much of a move, or you'll be into somebody as he almost got to.
Right alongside him, number 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr., another rookie.
John Andretti, you'd say he's in trouble on the high side there, but watch him as he starts off the corner. The blue car on the top there, he and Robert Preston must have talked in the driver's meeting, and it's working pretty well for him.
Only one Daytona 500 winner in this race, Derek Cope. Only one Gatorade 125 winner in this race, Dave Marcus. Now there's Blaney still stuck in the middle.
Mike, and he almost made contact there with the car on the outside of Derek Cope, the 15. They almost touched, and I'm sure Steve Park in the number 1 there had to just draw up because Blaney was all the way sideways.
Yeah, his car is very, very loose in the center there. He needs to try. Well, he thought he had a spot there, and he needs to try to get back in one of those lines, but not able to do it.
I think he and Park did touch. You may see a little bit of that paint on the left rear corner of Steve Park's car. Now that's happening mid-pack. The front 5 are broken away single file before that double wide group.
Blaney finally gets in line on the outside lane.
Five car single file. They are leaving the rest of the field to abreast.
Saw that happen in the first race. Same thing that happened here. There were 6 cars that broke away in the first race.
And they're 3 wide in the backstretch again behind that front pack.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 8 car there, battling like everything right now on the bottom side there. Got a lot of competition on the high side. As Kenny Irwin, the ones who don't know, he just went into that 42 car, the green car there. They're battling side by side down the front straightaway here.
Steve Park, number 1 on the bubble in that 15th and what is now the final qualifying spot. Here's Park's number 1 underneath Derek Cope. Driving for a long time, Daytona car owner Bud Moore of Spartanburg. Having to race their way in.
Yeah. Every time I see them get 3 wide, I stand here so many times and I realize 3 wide, it looks good. And it's very exciting, but it's not a very pleasant thing for the guy in the middle.
We'll be right back to Daytona after this.
have hands-on brewmasters working with the finest ingredients.
In the barley fields and in the hop fields, everyone has a genuine passion and commitment to upholding the highest standards.
Quality, freshness, attention to detail. Blend those things and you have what Budweiser is all about.
Rock and roll! We love you!
To keep your car rocking, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Buy a case of Haviland Formula 3 and get this collectible die-cast car for $4.99. Hurry, they're going fast.
Don't let racing at the Rock pass you by. NASCAR returns to North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham, February 26th and 27th. The 2000 season is closer than you think. Call now for tickets.
The hells we have lived through and live through still have sharpened our senses and toughened our will. The night has been long. This morning, I looked through your anguish right down to your soul. I know that together we can be made whole, and still we rise.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway and the Gatorade 125. With a bird's eye perspective, today's Gatorade 125 is brought to you by the Bud One Airship and Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. How about Ricky Rudd, his 24th Daytona 500. He has never won. His third in a qualifying race in '81, but looking for victory lane for the first time.
And no fear whatsoever. He was involved in a turnover here in the Bud Shootout earlier in the week. Now he's out there leading the race. So that tells you he has a lot of confidence in himself and his car, because that did not affect him.
Dick Berggren?
Your old Dave Marcus is having the race of his life, Mike. He is having trouble with his engine. It's overheating. He is trying desperately to make it 33 Daytona 500s in a row. It is not going well. His car is all the way to the back of the pack. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Problems potentially for the number 42 of Kenny Irwin. The water temperature of that machine is starting to climb, and sometimes only just from running in a tight pack like this could affect that. They also might have added some tape to the front of that car to try to change how that car handled based on what they saw from the previous race.
Here's a look at Irwin, number 42, who left the Robert Yates team at the end of last season. Was picked up for this 42 car by Felix Sabates. Joe Nemechek vacated this team to go drive for the 33 team.
Yeah, and he has a lot of talent. He started in the back of the field in the 500 last year and drove all the way to third.
Here's our Nation's Rent onboard cam, Michael Waltrip, running in 9th place, just behind Kenny Irwin. Our Fritos telemetry with Waltrip, 6,900 RPM.
Wow, almost 7,000 right there. About 190 miles an hour going off into turn one. See a little bump right there, a little sparks out of the car in front of him, of Irvin. But I'll tell you one thing, you'll never hear that motor change. Michael Waltrip drives it as hard as it'll go every lap.
Now it only bled off about 300 RPM through turns 1 and 2.
If you lose many more RPMs than that, your car is definitely not handling. That's even back when I was racing back in the mid-60s. That was the target that's trying to set that you would not lose more than 300 RPMs in the turn.
And that draft has been paired somewhat in danger of being down to 11 cars. Barry Cope there falling back just a bit. Number 15, Bud Moore.
Yeah, he's in 11th position. Jerry Nadeau has fallen back as well. He was in the top 12.
Did I mention there's only one guy in this whole race that's ever won a 125? In this second race, there has never been anybody but Dave Marcus that's ever won the 125 qualifying races.
Did it in 1976 with Krauskopf of the K&K Dodge.
There's a pretty good chance that there will be a first-time winner then here today that Dave hasn't won.
Bill Stevens?
Mike, we talked about some of the better cars not having a good race right now, and you can add another one to that list. Dave Blaney, who started 5th in the number 93. Gil Martin, the crew chief, said they lost an awful lot of valuable practice time yesterday when they hit the wall in weather conditions that are very similar to the ones we have now. They didn't get the data that they really wanted. That's why that car's off the pace.
Thanks, Bill. This may become a 5-car breakaway, as back at 6th, the 6th place car, Robert Presley, running a much higher line through turns 1 and 2 than the rest of that pack. But in the straightaway, you see they all get gathered back up again.
Yeah, that gives him a good run. His car is free coming off of that second turn. He gets a good run down the backstretch and closes right back in.
Well, it's been a so-so day for owner-drivers. Bill Elliott drove his own car to victory lane in the first race. Brett Bodine had engine trouble, and now Dave Marcus is in danger of missing the 500.
Yeah, but one car that is doing a great job right now is Derek Cope. He started very far back, and that's him right at the back of the line right there. He's moved himself up there with the front group, and it stands a good chance of making the 500. And everybody remembers him passing Earnhardt in turn 3 to win the 500 not many years ago.
1990, driving for Bob Whitcomb of New Hampshire. The car wrenched by Buddy Parrott. That lead draft, 11 cars long, and from front to back, the width of your screen is 1.7 seconds on the racetrack from 1st to 11th. We'll have more of the Gatorade 125s from Daytona after these messages and a word from your local CBS station.
The garage is on the wrong side. We got a problem on 36. Mike, get over here. Greg, get down. Jim, I need that cement truck.
Only the Nextel Business Network connects local companies with our digital two-way radio feature. So you can reach who you need faster.
Oh, it's perfect.
Now it's perfect.
Greg, we have a problem.
Nextel, how business gets done.
If you don't want to be here until the tide takes you out, keep the ball well up in your stance and your shoulders parallel to the slope.
The real story of John Benet Ramsey, Perfect Murder, Perfect Town, CBS, February 27th.
Hardee's Frisco Combo, a perfectly charbroiled burger served up on grilled sourdough bread, plus fries and a drink, just $2.99. Only at Hardee's.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car.
92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Don't get caught in the cold. Sign up for 42 Weather Warn at WIAT.com. Get severe weather warnings through your computer, digital pager, or PCS phone with 42 Weather Warn. It's fast, it's free, it's about time. Sponsored by Alagasco. Watch Jeopardy! Weeknights at 6 on CBS 42.
Caution-free thus far in both 125-mile qualifying races. The last time that both races went without a yellow flag was back when they were just 100-mile races in 1964.
They extended them to 125-mile races where they would have to make pit stops. Well, that has changed now. With the restrictor plates, they don't burn much fuel, and now they can go 125 miles without having to stop for fuel.
If a yellow flag should occur, wondering how many of the teams would come in and take tires from the sprint run to the finish. That's a key part of the strategy here.
Certainly, you would have to expect those that are running back in the pack to do that. Let's go to the pits and Dick Berggren.
Well, Jeff Burton lost several positions a couple of laps back. He is suffering from a car that is pushing like so many other people, and he just lost those spots. He's doing his best to hang on. To Bill Stevens.
Yeah, you're right, Dick. Pushing seems to be the endemic problem today. The number 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been doing that. And earlier we mentioned how he doesn't like to run up high. Well, a couple of laps ago, he tried it and didn't like it. And now he'll really try to stick to the low part of the racetrack.
Car's not handling. That's what you have to do. You just have to search around on the racetrack for a place that it feels more comfortable and not put more pressure on any one tire than you absolutely want to.
How do you feel when a tire is going away?
Well, it's almost like you hit water or oil in the corner. You turn the wheel fast and it wants to go right. And there's no such thing as just keeping the power on and making it turn. Once it starts to push, you have to ease out of the throttle. And when you do that with the restrictor plates, it really takes the power away from the car.
Watching Ricky Rudd run up in front, Waddell Wilson, who was his crew chief years ago, and Waddell now with A.J. Foyt and that Mike List team, said that this is a guy that reminded him always of Cale Yarborough. All he wants to do is go faster. That's always the question. How can we get quicker? Well, he certainly is looking quick out here this afternoon as he continues to blitz this field.
Thanks, Ken. Our second Gatorade 125 rolls on after this.
If you can't stop here, stop here for genuine Midas brakes. Now just $69.95 after rebate. Guaranteed nationwide for as long as you own your car. Next stop, go Midas.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing. That car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
The hells we have lived through and live through still have sharpened our senses and toughened our will. The night has been long. This morning, I looked through your anguish right down to your soul. I know that together we can be made whole. And still we rise.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Gatorade. It's in NASCAR. Is it in you?
42 laps down, 8 to go. Ricky Rudd has led them all. His average speed 188.048 miles an hour, and we've been caution-free. Battle for the bubble. Robert Cressley, Ed Barrier. Back there at 15th position. And Rick Mast. On the left side of your screen is Mast 41. Cressley is the boy on the bubble right now. And here comes Ed Barrier, the rookie, driving for ageless Junie Donlevy out of Richmond, Virginia. And he has taken Presley after sniffing a draft off the lapped car of Norm Medding.
Did a great job of picking up the draft from that lap car and went right on by Robert Presley, who has been struggling, and now he's moving up on Rick Mast.
Remember, Presley's speed will get him into the Daytona 500. But Barrier would have had to race his way in, and he may have done just that. Well, the 3 GM cars, the Chevy of Skinner, the Pontiac, there of Burton, and the Chevy of Earnhardt have linked up, but can they do anything with Ricky Rudd? Bill?
Mike, the strategy for Dale Earnhardt Jr. really seems to be playing out. He just told Tony Eury on the radio, verbatim, "I've got plenty of tire left," to Ralph Shaheen.
During the week, a lot of the drivers go out in packs together and spend a lot of time drafting. They try to remember what the other drivers' characteristics were. Larry McReynolds just reminded Mike Skinner he spent a lot of time running with Ricky Rudd. Try to remember what tricks he showed you in those days of practicing, and you can use them in the finish here.
Buddy, would it pay Ricky Rudd to not get too far ahead of Mike Skinner so that he can't get a big run on it?
You're exactly right. You don't want them to get a distance between you, because the two cars, if they're really hooked up and they're able to run the preferred line, they can catch you so much quicker, because the further back you are, the more the air turbulates behind these cars. Just like there, they run him down from about 6 or 7 car lengths.
Dick Berggren?
A voice just came down from on high to Earnhardt Jr. It was Earnhardt Sr. He asked, "Where is your line?" He didn't wait for an answer. He just said, "Go there." Let's watch Jr. see if he can.
5 laps to go in the second Gatorade 125 to set the second half of the field for the Daytona 500. Folks, it's a lot like you trying to pass a slow car on a 2-lane road. If you get too close up behind him, you can't get a run and make a pass and get back in line. You have to leave a gap. And we'll see if those GM cars have left that much of a gap, or maybe too much of a gap.
Well, Ricky Rudd got an awfully big gap there. I don't know if it was his doing or the GM cars. Mike Skinner closes back in, but the Pontiac was not able to come with Mike Skinner going into turn 3, and he's going to have that help.
And I'm watching Earnhardt Jr. now. He is not able to keep that car down like he should, and he's running way, way high. He flies down the straightaway, but in the center part of the corner, he's losing 4 or 5 car lengths to the guys that he's drafted with.
And they tighten back up again. Robert Yates wins the Gatorade 125, 1991 with Davey Allison, 94 with Ernie Irvin, and 96, 97 with Dale Jarrett. Tommy Baldwin, son of a modified racer from Long Island, worked on his dad's cars, came south, and now he's one of the top crew chiefs in the business. Ward Burton, his driver, sits in 3rd.
Those 4 cars have broken away a little bit from the next group of cars, which includes Michael Walton leading then, 4 cars in the second group as well. And one of those is Derek Cope. I've been really impressed with him. He dropped way back and has come right back up there and is battling with the front tires.
There's not a sponsor on that black car today, Ned. You bet there will be some on Sunday. Ralph?
Mike Skinner just radiated into his crew chief, said, "Tell Ward Burton spotters to get word to Ward to stay with me. If he does, we'll catch him," he thinks.
Well, it looks like he's going to stay with him this time down the back stretch. Let's see how much ground they can make up.
Looking back from Mike Skinner.
That's not as far as it looks on your television screen right there.
No, it's about 16 feet. There it is.
That's the true shot right there. The one thing I am noticing about Earnhardt now, he is getting with the 22 car. They're looking to the outside of Skinner just for a second there.
And that's just got to frustrate Mike Skinner. Derek Cope battling Nemechek and Jeff Burton. Race for 6th place. 2 laps to go. Dick Berggren, do those 3 GM cars have anything for Ricky Rudd's 4?
John Hawk from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit has just come to the 22 car of Ward Burton and explained to him they just can't keep the car to the bottom of the racetrack. And the 22 said, "Let's do what we can. Let's try to hook up, stay in line." But Earnhardt Jr. has fought tire troubles all day. He's been pushing all day. Cannot stay at the bottom. That's not fast. Mike?
White flag, Dick. 1 lap to go. Ricky Rudd with a 4-car length lead, maybe the biggest he's had today.
And some traffic in front of him that could help him, Mike, as he catches up to them a little bit going into turn 1 down here to give him some help. Maybe just what he needs to not have to worry about those cars behind him linking up and going past him. We'll see.
And the other thing he's doing is looking in that mirror, making sure where his competition's at. And right now, the car is working so well. You see him move over there to take some of the draft away from 2nd place, 3rd place, and 4th place cars. But this is his race to lose right now, because he is such He's so good in the corners. Look at him. He made about a 4-car lead right there on Mike Skinner in second, just getting into that corner.
They won't catch the lap traffic before they come to the finish line. Rudd off turn 4 with a 4-car length lead. Upside down on Sunday. Right side up all the way to victory lane. Ricky Rudd wires it. Green flag to checker to win his Gatorade 125. Mike Skinner is second. Ward Burton is third. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is fourth. And John Andretti, number 43, comes across to take the 15th and final transfer spot from this 125-mile qualifying race.
So Marcus finished out of the top 15 here today, and I don't think his speed is good enough to get him in the race. The only thing would be a possibility of provisional, and that's a remote possibility.
So Marcus, for the first time in 33 years at Daytona, may have to load up and go home.
Well, that's too bad.
We'll be back to celebrate Ricky Rudd's first Daytona victory.
Styling of the new Vulcan 1500 Drifter takes you back to another time. The engineering makes sure you don't get stuck there. Vulcan, only from Kawasaki.
The sun is out. The leaderboard is stacked at the Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades, California, where Tiger Woods, after a double bogey on the previous hole, had this for birdie at 14. He is even for the day and 5 behind the leader, Bob Tway, who took the lead outright at the 4th. Tway is the leader, but there are 44 players within 5 shots of the lead, including Duval, Woods, and Couples. Golf coming up later. Right now, let's go back to Daytona.
Ricky Rudd is in victory lane at Daytona. Here's Ken Squire.
Pulls off the steering wheel, the helmet, disassembles some of the radio equipment here. Ricky, there's only one question to be asked. Did you show us everything you had?
Man, that was it, Ken. I thought those guys were laying back and they were trying to get a run at me. And, you know, this Robert Yates, Doug Yates, Mike McSwain, all these guys, they did a heck of a job on this new Texaco Haviland Taurus. I got to get used to saying all these new words, but I rolled them off there pretty good. But, you know, it's just great to have a fast race car. I mean, I've been coming to Daytona 20-some years, and I've never had a car that run like this. It's just, I don't know what to say, but thank you to all these guys.
Congratulations on a beautiful race. Now let's go to Dick Berggren.
With Dale Earnhardt Jr., you are in the Daytona 500, my friend.
Yeah, I was happy about that. I tell you what, man, I was so nervous about making this race, and I knew that we had a good car. I want to thank my dad for everything, all the effort he's put forth to make this team competitive so quickly. He has not left any stone unturned trying to make us as fast as we can. Richie Gilmore, my head engine guy, built a good powerhouse, and that's something we surely need today. And we worked real hard getting the push out of the car off the corner in practice, and Tony and the guys and myself, we kind of got together and worked with some things. It made the car kind of free. I mean, it's bouncing around through the middle, 3 and 4, pretty good, a little loose up high, but I didn't want to be behind those guys and get tight, so kind of hung the right front out all I could and keep the right front tire on the car.
Great job. We'll look for you on Sunday.
The first 15 finishers transfer into Sunday's Daytona 500. Rudd, Skinner, Burton, and Earnhardt, the front 4. Michael Waltrip, Cope, Jeff Burton, and Nemechek. Kenny Irwin, Jerry Nadeau, Jimmy Spencer, and rookie Matt Kenseth will be in the 500, along with Ed Berrier, Rick Mast, and John Andretti. Robert Presley's speed should get him in, but all the rest of these drivers will have to depend on their time trial speed or their car owner championship points from 1999 for a Daytona 500 starting berth. When we come back, we will set the starting lineup for Sunday's 500.
Is it in you?
It's tough to put your finger on it. That's something that powers some to get anything done. But when somebody's got this kind of drive, you'll know. Just look at their truck. Welcome to Ford country, land of the Indestructibles, home of the F-Series, and stomping ground of the all-new Super Crew. It's out to take on anything. Just bring it on.
CBS Sports presentation of the Gatorade 125s is sponsored by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade. It's in NASCAR. Is it in you? And by Kawasaki Motorcycles. Let the good times roll.
And welcome back to the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway, where all is in readiness, or just about, for the 42nd running of the Daytona 500 tomorrow. Ken Squire with you with an update on Jeffrey Bodine, victim of that terrible crash in that truck race yesterday. A lot of broken bones, but to Dr. Kennedy this morning, he said, "Do you think you can get me ready for Rockingham next Sunday?" Very doubtful. We had a great 300-mile race earlier this afternoon. Matt Kenseth of Wisconsin pulled it off, defeating Nemechek and Terry Labonte. There was plenty of action. Take a look at this. Chad Chaffin collects, among others, Hut Strickland, Ron Hornaday, Adam Petty, Casey Atwood, Elton Sawyer, all walked away from this crash. And look at this sidewinder. That's the number 7 of Michael Waltrip. 8 times he goes side over side, coming out of the tri-oval here at Daytona. Less than an hour later, after this terrible crash, he was in the number 7, ready to start 10th in tomorrow's Daytona 500. Happy hour is continuing at this time, that final opportunity to tune and see just how good, how strong you're going to be for tomorrow's race. And take a look at the grid for tomorrow's race. And as you look at it, let's go to Mike Joy.
Well, Ken, let's see if our CBS Sports crew can pick a winner for tomorrow's 500, and I'll start with two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett.
Mike, even though Jeff Gordon has jumped up to the top of the speed chart here in happy hour, and he won the race last year, I'm going to go with Dale Jarrett. He starts on the pole. He's got a fast car, and he's won this thing twice. I think he can do it again.
1980 500 winner Buddy Baker.
I would have to go with Ricky Rudd. He's no longer a car owner. His mind's on driving. He's got a great car. Robert Yates Ford. I think he has the temperament and the ability to win the Daytona 500.
He had to fold his team last fall. He got flipped on his lid on the last lap last Sunday. Wouldn't it be neat if Ricky Rudd in his 23rd try could finally win the 500? Dick Berggren?
Last year, Rusty Wallace led the most laps in the Daytona 500, but he didn't win it. He led the most laps here in July. He didn't win it. This year, he has a better car than for either of those two races, and I think tomorrow he's going to drive it right here into victory lane. Terrell Shaheen.
Well, I think Dale Jarrett's new pit crew is going to be a big advantage for him, but I think it's going to be Ricky Rudd who's going to be the first-time winner here, Bill Stevens.
Well, you know, only 7 drivers in history have won a twin 125 and then won the Daytona 500 in the same year. 3 of them are in the field tomorrow. Dale Earnhardt, Sterling Marlin, and my pick, Bill Elliott. Back to you, Ken.
Well, after 20 years, I'm a Ricky Rudd supporter. Waddell Wilson once said, this guy has more fire to go to the front, and he certainly has the equipment with which to do it when he starts in the front row alongside Jarrett for the 42nd running of the Great American Race. Live, flag to flag, here on CBS. We sure hope you'll be along for the ride. Golf is next on CBS this afternoon.